come with me. I'm not really asking. We'll get away to a place where we don't know. About to see the world in action, what we can be, life with no distractions. We'll get away, this is what we waited for. Take my hand, we'll make it somehow. We can't miss out. I'm done living life with the lights out, die with my own doubts. Be free with me. Let's go, let's be free with Not looking back, eyes on the freeway, Bonnie and Clyde, a classic cliche. We're on the run, this is what we waited for. Take my hand, we'll make it somehow. We can't miss out. I'm done living life with the lights out, die with my own doubts. Be free.
Hello, creative friends. I'm so glad you are joining me today. My name is Tiffany Solorio. If you don't know me, I've been crafting and creating things for about 15-ish years. And I love all the things. I love alcohol inks. I love distress sprays, everything grungy and anything that I, can get my hands inky. You can find an About Me page, my YouTube channel, and so much more over on my website. And you could see it flashing down at the bottom. And then there's also a link down in the description box. So I think that is that. Let's get into some questions. Hopefully, get some good ones. All right. Hello, Karen. Thanks for your presentation. I liked the techniques. Where is the synthetic craft plastic from? So the craft plastic is a brand called Graphics, and there's a couple places that sell them. If you have the supply list, or if you're a VIP member, I think you can see the full supply list. But Amazon mainly is the main place that I can grab that. Hope that helps you. All right. Hello, Dee. How quickly do you go through a container of alcohol? Alcohol ink, like the colors. I just finished my first boysenberry color, which is like a purple color. Other than that, I don't think I've gone through any colors yet. But I am running low on a couple of my favorites. I have a big bottle of Monsoon, so I probably won't run out of that one anytime soon. But alcohol, as in like the isopropyl alcohol, This is my second bottle, probably within like a year. So, and I use alcohol inks a lot. So I hope that helps you. Hello, Darla. Tiffany, alcohol inks and bad lungs aren't good together. So I guess I can't even use the ink pads for stamps. Or am I wrong? Thank you. Um, ink pads. The- hmm, If you have bad lungs, I would suggest not using alcohol inks, unless maybe you're outside and you can, use them outside. Ink pads, I'm not sure what you're meaning the ink pad, the alcohol lift ink. Maybe you can clarify that, um, and then I can get back to it maybe. All right. Karen asks, do you need to use alcohol ink bottles for these designs, or can you use stamp ink pads or markers? So I use a lot of alcohol marker re-inkers, or let me grab them real quick. So like the Copic ones. I also have Altenew. I have them on the shelf back here. On the bottom, you can't really see them. I don't know why I'm pointing, but um, markers, you could probably like color a rainbow or something and then put some isopropyl alcohol down on there and then kind of let it do its thing. I haven't tried it. I don't really use alcohol markers much, but I do use the re-inkers from time to time. I love the colors. So I hope that helps. Carrie asks, has anyone used the Hero Art inks? I have not. All right. So if you have gotten the free ticket, um, you probably have seen maybe over on my presenters page the free PDF download, and it is called Discover Alcohol Inks. I have lots of alcohol tips. Sorry, I'm looking at it on my next screen over here. Alcohol ink tips like how to get the wispy effect, different paper I use, all of the different tools. I have 15 different color combinations, the difference between alloy ink, pearls, mixative, and then no blower tool techniques. So a lot of different techniques that don't require you to have to blow the ink around because I know that's hard for some people. And then ways that you can add texture. So it is jam packed full of information. So be sure to check that out. And you can grab the link in the description box to go check that out. All right. Claudia Smith asks, I have never heard of craft plastic until I saw your course. Beside Amazon, can I purchase craft plastic anywhere else? The only other place that I know is Joggles. I typically buy it from Amazon, but joggles.com you can find it there. Grandma Stubbs asks, what strength alcohol do you use? Can you do the lift ink technique with alcohol on your dauber instead of the lifting ink? So I need to gear up for this one because um, can you put that question back up, Erin, if you don't mind? Sorry. I forgot the first part. So the strength of the isopropyl alcohol is 91% or higher. And that's really important, or else the alcohol just kind of stays and it takes too long to dry, and then it does weird things if it's any lower. So it needs to be 91% or higher. And then the alcohol lift ink is totally separate technique from putting isopropyl alcohol on a dauber. Um, the isopropyl alcohol will make the alcohol bleed out versus the ink. It's just lifting up the ink. I hope that makes sense. I don't know the formula. It's kind of magic, but it's amazing. So let me show you the card here. So these are the cards. So if you haven't seen the presentation, today's the last day you can grab the free ticket to check it out. So you're going to want to do that because it's only available for until 8 a.m. Pacific or 8 a.m. Eastern time tomorrow. So show all of those techniques: alcohol lift ink, stamping, splattering, blending out the color from the bottom here. So that's what I show in my class. All right. Hello, Sheila asks, I have tried alcohol inks before, but found the color ink rubs off. Is there a way to keep that from happening? If you're using only alcohol inks on synthetic paper, I don't know why it would rub off. But if you're using like a mixative or an alloy, something with a metallic in it, and you're not using blending solution, it's not going to set, so it is going to rub off. Even things like this one is one that I did, and I put some alloy on there, and I actually use a grab it here. I use this Kamar varnish, and I just spray a light coat over it, and then that way it doesn't go anywhere, because even when I use blending solution, it still tends to kind of rub off on my hands. So if you do have that problem, I don't know what paper you're using, I don't know what ink you're using, so depending on all of that and where you are, if you're, I don't know, but you might want to invest in a sealer. So I use this one, Kamar varnish, and it's really, really smelly. uh, and I've used it once in the house, and it stunk for days. So you definitely want to use that outside, and it seals perfectly fine. So I hope that helps. All right. Hello, Brenda. Her question is about how long do you spend on an alcohol ink card? Hmm. Um, I think in a way that's a not a loaded question, but I've been doing it for so long. So for me, maybe like 20-ish minutes for this card. 20-25 minutes, I would say. And depending on the techniques as well, like this background here, you actually, if you have the VIP pass, don't forget to grab this class. There's information on that in the VIP section or the website. This will make this background, but this was a 12 by 12 sheet. It probably took me altogether probably an hour or so, but I can get many cards with it, and I show how to do that in the class as well. So, and that's for the VIP ticket holders only. So, all right. Peggy asks, where did you get your ink storage? The shelves. That's hard to point the right way. The ink shelves here are from IKEA. They're the ones that are supposed to hold pictures. I need a pointer. That is new. I got it off of Amazon. Well, my mom gave it to me actually. And it rotates, and it's really nice. If you follow me on Instagram, you probably saw it. It holds all of my alcohol ink so I can see them individually, rather than I had this bin and it was just filled with alcohol inks, and I was like digging in there every single time I was looking for a color. So I like having them out, and then I actually bring that over to my work surface when I'm going to create. And then the one holding the ink pads is organized more, I believe. I hope that helps. Sharon Robbins, can you explain alcohol lift and what it is used for? Okay, so alcohol lift ink, let me see if I have it right here. I don't, it's over there. So alcohol lift ink, you can stamp with it, you can use it through a stencil. And if you watched the class, I explain a lot of this. But you can get some really cool texture. So I really like it because it gets me using a lot of my supplies, like a lot of my stamps and my stencils that maybe I don't use as often as I should. just to give a lot more texture and interest to the card. It definitely is something that will take you a little bit of time because you can't just stamp it and then leave it. You have to um, dab up some of the excess ink. And then, yeah, it's a little bit of a process, but I suggest that you go watch my class because I explain it all over there. So I hope that helps. What is the difference between a mixative and an alcohol ink? So I wish, you know what? I think I have. Let me grab these real quick. So alcohol ink is just color. Okay. And then you have like an alloy and it has like um, let's read the bottle here. It says, oh, it doesn't say what it's in there. It's like how can I explain it? It's it's like shimmery, like gold or silver, metallic in there. And I didn't bring over, let's see. So you could see the shimmer on there. That is like an alloy. And then the mixative, so Tim Holtz actually did a live today explaining a lot of this stuff in depth. So um, and he shows too, which I think is very helpful because a mixative, it mixes in and it kind of just creates like a shimmery color rather than like an alloy. It kind of sits on top and then the color is just color. I hope that makes sense. All right. Barb asks, I saw you use stencils in your class. Does the ink or alcohol harm them? It does not. I haven't had any trouble with my stamps or my stencils or anything getting ruined. All right. Lisa asks, my metallics seem to fall in a type of drip before I get the good runny line to set off the colors. How can I get the pretty run see on Oh, how can I get the pretty run on yours? Um, hmm. I would suggest using more with any of the alloys or mixative, the metallics or pearls. You have to use the blending solution so it can set. So I would suggest using a little bit more blending solution or even adding so my process is I add the ink, then if I want to use a alloy, I'll add a drop of the alloy in the ink, and then I'll just squirt a ton of the blending solution, and I use these little bottles here. I don't like the big blending solution bottle because it just kind of comes out too fast, and I like these because they're smaller. Um, and then I'll just stick a ton of it on there, and then that helps break it up because then it's not setting on the paper. Then it has something to move in. If you add a little bit of the blending solution first, then the color, then your metallic. So I hope that helps. Hello, Kay. Does the isopropyl alcohol need to be a certain percentage? Yes, it needs to be 91% or higher. Which Conair dryer do you use? I actually remembered to grab some things. So I use this one here. I don't know the model number or anything, but if you um, took the class, you'll see it in the presentation page. And then also, if you download my free PDF, I have all of my favorite supplies in there as well. So it's this one here, and it actually has an attachment that curls your hair, although obviously I don't use that. And then I really like it because it has a little knob here where you're going to have to take like a penny or something and turn it to the lower setting, and then that way it's cool rather than like an embossing tool is too hot for alcohol inks. It dries it up way too fast, and then obviously because you're using synthetic paper, you're going to warp the paper. So it's just Conair. Mine's black. Um, Others I've seen are gray, pink. So just depending. Um, and then you want to make sure that the attachment comes off. And looks like that. So I hope that helps. Hello, Claudia. I saw your list of supply you had precision tip applicator bottles. What do you use that for? I don't remember seeing you use that in your course. Yes, so I add isopropyl alcohol to one of them because this will dump too much out. So I just add some in there. And I probably fill this up maybe once or twice during a play session of alcohol inks. And then I use the other one, I put a blending solution in. So I have two little bottles, and I don't color code mine or label them any differently because the blending solution is a little bit off. It's like a little yellowy, and the isopropyl alcohol is clear. So, but if you need to, you probably should like mark one of them, so you're not, so you remember which is which. I hope that helps. Carrie, what's the difference between Copic reinkers that you showed and Copic markers? So the reinkers refill the markers. Um, and the markers, obviously, you can like color with them. I don't color with Copic markers. I know there's some fantastic people that can, even even in this summit, but I can't do that. So I just use the reinkers for my alcohol backgrounds. Hello, Lisa. Sorry, got here late. Is plastic only option? No and yes. Um, it has to be a non-porous surface. So if you're just starting out, I really suggest getting like a small cheap tile. I don't know how much they are, like 25 cents or something from a hardware store. And then that way, or like a larger one, maybe if you want a little bit larger surface. But then that way you can have a little bit of time to play with the inks and kind of get a feel of how they work. And then even if you're interested, I would maybe suggest getting one little bottle of your favorite color and trying it that way. But yeah, like um I think every surface is some sort of plastic because it has to be non-porous. So, well, you could use gesso over cardstock. Um, So yeah, you could do that as well, but pretty much non-porous surface if you want to get a really flowy type look. Hello, Brenda. Can you use another type of ink like pigment ink or on top of alcohol ink card instead of archival? Um, you know what? I want to say no. I think on, if I remember correctly, it mixes kind because it mixes with the alcohol ink. I can't remember which one it is, but one of them kind of blends it out. It doesn't really work on top of the alcohol ink. Um, but maybe if I remember, I'll give it a try and let everybody know in the Facebook group. Hello, Elisa. Is the craft plastic like thin acetate sheets? No. It's these are I was swatching my alcohol inks. They're not it's not acetate. Um it's like thin plastic. It's like thin plastic paper. Um and it's like Yupo. I mean, if you've heard of Yupo, same kind of concept, although craft plastic to me is a lot more affordable, and that's why I like it because I do so much of it. Um so Yeah, and I actually have a YouTube chat or YouTube channel, a YouTube video on craft plastic versus Yupo, and it's not knocking Yupo or anything like that. It's just the difference between them and why I choose craft plastic. And the main reason is price point, honestly. Okay. Hello, Bo. What is your favorite brand of alcohol ink? I do use a lot of Ranger alcohol ink, but I'm really actually loving Alta News reinkers. So I am starting to use alcohol inks on canvases. So this is one that I did yesterday, and I used the Altenew reinkers for that. I don't recall the colors, so I apologize. Um, but it's a whole different ball game playing on canvas. But I really love it, and I love how vibrant the colors are with the Altenew reinkers. Let me see. I have Bria Reese. I have Copics. I think I have a couple other brands, but I don't really go for them that often, like pull them that often. Uh, Mainly Ranger, probably. Yeah. Can you use regular cardstock for alcohol ink? No. Hello, Abram, I think was your name. um, no, because the regular cardstock is porous and the alcohol ink is just going to seep in. You're not going to have that movement. I wish I was set up for a demo because I would show you. But you're not going to have that movement you are when you're using it on synthetic paper. It's just going to seep right through. Unless you can use um, maybe like collage medium or gesso or some sort of like, I don't know, maybe Mod Podge. I haven't tried it, but something to seal the paper first, and you may be able to get a little bit more movement. Um, yeah. So, hello, Bo again. Do you like pinata inks? The only pinata ink I have is the rich gold. I don't use it that often because I personally like the alloys versus the mixatives because let me show you. My daughter actually just left this. So this is an alcohol ink piece that I made, but I had it printed on a little thing for her. But you could see that the alloys just sit right on top. And that's what I really love. And I noticed that with the pinata rich gold, because a lot of people really love this, it kind of reminds me of a mixative and it mixes in versus sitting on top. At least from my experience, I may have to um, play around with it a little bit more. But so that's the only ink that I have of pinata. I haven't used their colors, so I don't know. So long-winded answer there. All right. Hello, Gail. Do you prep your paper or Yupo before applying the alcohol ink or mixative? I do not. Most of the time, it's just color, isopropyl, moving it around kind of thing. Um, Sometimes I will, if I want a like really wispy effect, I'll put isopropyl alcohol down first. A lot of people suggest cleaning your whole um, paper with isopropyl alcohol. I don't do that mainly because I forget. But I usually pull it straight out of the package and then use it. But if you're like touching it a lot, your oils are going to get on the paper and then it could affect the movement and stuff of the alcohol inks on the paper. Other than that, no, there's no prepping it with anything really. Hello, Cindy. Do the craft embossing dryers work on this project? No, only because they get too hot. Way they're way too hot, and then the air is too direct as well. And like a regular hair dryer, I've tried it, and it's too much force. Um, so yeah, no, because it's just too hot. It dries the alcohol ink too fast, and it could warp the paper. Hello, Carrie. Can you use the cool setting on your blow dryer? The blow dryers, I tried two. The blow dryers that I have tried, they just blow way too much air, even on a low cool setting. I would suggest trying it out. Um, Maybe be careful that you don't splat the alcohol ink on your wall or anything that you don't want stained. But yeah, it's a little bit too much force for my liking. I do use a airbrush sometimes, um, but yeah, not a regular hair dryer. Hello, lyrical wonders. Can you emboss or foil on Yupo or similar paper? I haven't tried foiling on Yupo paper before. Um, but embossing, yes and no. The craft plastic is a little bit more heat resistant, so rather than Yupo, so it will handle embossing, but you have to kind of keep moving your tool around. Um, and yeah, so you can. You just have to be careful. Craft plastic is a way to go if you want to emboss on your alcohol inked backgrounds. I wouldn't emboss on Yupo paper. And again, I have a YouTube video on that as well. So, all right. Thank you so much, everybody. I really appreciate you being here. Bye.